Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to be doing a video for my sisters, for the queens out there, and yeah, just sharing a few of my Christian girl essentials, so things that I think are essentials for Christian women, Christian girls to have, and things that I think are helpful and important when it comes to the journey and walk as a Christian. So I'll be dropping a few things, but of course if I miss out anything that you think is key and essential, then do also drop that in the comment section below. And if you haven't, then do make sure that you like, you share, and that you subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. So number one essential as a Christian girl, Christian woman is, as you obviously probably guessed, a Bible. So I mean, obviously a Bible is essential, right? And for me, one Bible that I use is the ESV Bible. So this is my study Bible, and I have like a little Bible as well, but I find this Bible so amazing. Like, I love it so much. And I bought this, I think in 2020. That was like the moment where for me it was like, okay, I need to take my life more serious. I need to take my walk with God more serious. And yeah, this was the Bible that I kind of felt more connected to. I've had it ever since then, love it, and would definitely recommend it. At the time, there was another Bible that I was going to buy that also looked really good and had good reviews, but I didn't go for that. But I will link it below for anyone who might be interested as well. But yeah, the first essential is of course a Bible, because we need the word, we need to know the word. And I think for me, having a study Bible is important, because it's not just obviously reading the word, but it's also getting commentary, seeing what other people have said, and then also just kind of allowing it to bring more revelation to you through the Holy Spirit. So yeah, having a study Bible is good, and maybe having a small Bible that you can take maybe to church or take along with you when you're going to places that you don't really want to take your big study Bible, because yeah, it is quite heavy. So that's number one. So number two, which is also important when it comes to Christian girl essentials, is having a notepad or having a journal. So for me personally, I have this journal or I have this notepad. So this is just a cheap notepad for like £2.50 from Asda, and that's just what works for me. So I tend to write a lot. So in the past, I used to buy faith journals, and most times they cost about maybe £25 to £30. And I just found that because I write a lot, I will finish the journal really quick and then have to buy another one. So I just kind of resorted to buying cheap notebooks from Asda or from a local shop, where it's just easy to write and not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm using up all the space already. One thing I would say though about faith journals that are good is that they usually come with like encouraging words or scriptures, which I think are also good as well. So I will link some down below. I have a sis actually that does notebooks, that does journals, and I need to actually buy one just to support. So I'll probably buy one. But when it comes to journals, I think a lot of the time it's just finding out what works for you. So for me personally, I just have a notepad where I just kind of put everything in there. So some people like to separate it. So you might want to have a gratitude journal, a general journal where you just put general things. You might want to have a journal where you put down your plans, your ideas that are inspired through God. You might want to have a prayer journal. You might want to have a dreams journal, so where you write down your dreams. Or you could even have a dreams journal in terms of the dreams and the visions that you have. And then some people obviously have a notepad for sermons as well. So it just depends what works for you. But the key thing is having something that works, that you can easily go back to. Having a system that works, whether that is using an iPad or your phone, using a laptop, to make sure that everything is in a place where it's easily accessible for you to go back to in the future. Okay, the third thing, which is an essential, I would say, for the Christian woman, Christian girl, is to have stationery. Now, I know that's kind of like the obvious, but I do have stationery somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but having a pen, a highlighter is really good, because when you're studying the Bible, or maybe you're just writing down notes, you need a pen, and it's nice to have a highlight to highlight the important points that you can go back to in the future and easily pick out. So having stationery is key as well. Some people are kind of like into different colors and, you know, using reds for certain things and blues. So again, it's just finding what works for you and then kind of going with that, but making sure that you always have your stationery at hand, because you just don't know when a word might be dropped in your spirit. Like, I remember back in the days when I used to work kind of like a bit far out, and I used to have a long train journey, and it used to be on those journeys where things would just come to my mind, things would just come to me. And luckily I would have a journal at the time, and I would just write those things down. And even times like this, when I look back, I'm like, wow, sis, like you used to write those things down. So yeah, it's nice to just carry your journal with you and also your stationery everywhere you go, just so that anytime a word drops or anytime inspiration comes, you have your pen and pad ready. Number 4 thing that I would say is essential, which I think is not often spoken about, but I think it needs to be spoken about a bit more, and it's something that I've been getting a bit more into as well, is devotionals. So obviously I feel like a lot of the time, especially when we start off as Christians, we start off with devotionals, maybe the Bible app, and then as we kind of go along on the journey and we get more into like the meat and we start going into the words a bit more, we kind of throw devotionals to the side. But I think even when we continue to grow in our walk, devotionals are very, very important. And I actually have this devotional book, which is called, it's the other way around, but yeah, Woman of the Bible. And yeah, it's a really good one actually. Someone recommended it to me. Having a devotional, especially focused on being a woman or godly woman, a woman of God, is also very helpful. And using devotionals from the Bible app as well is also useful. So even if it's just having a devotional that you read like in the morning, you're reading one a day, it's really helpful because it helps you to practicalize what you're learning from the word. And I think that's also very key on the walk. So that's another thing as well. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below, and if you have any devotionals as well that you can recommend to another sister or recommend to me, I would love to know. Okay, another one, which again is probably a bit obvious but might not be that obvious, is a book. So when I say a book, I mean having a book that you're reading in each season that is maybe relevant to you as a woman. So I try to do that. I've not really kept up as much as well, but at the moment, one book that I'm reading, which I've actually been reading with a few sisters, but we kind of all fell off, which is, a bit sad. But it's this book called Disciplines of a Godly Woman. So I would say that having one book that is specific to your walk as a woman of God, a Christian woman, is very helpful, because again, it's just practicalizing what the word says, and also just seeing other people's viewpoints and their interpretations is quite helpful. Of course, we have to use wisdom and be led when it comes to these things, because there's so much information and knowledge out there that we have to be careful what we're taking in. However, I'm happy to do another video as well, just to recommend a few books that I've read that I can say, yes, I would recommend them to another sister. And also do put recommendations, as always, in the comment section below. But if you do want a video, me sharing a few book recommendations, Christian woman books, then do comment in the comment section and I will do that video. Hopefully it will be helpful. And then the next one is having a playlist. So I think this is one that a lot of people don't think about, but having a playlist is so important. Whether that is a worship playlist, a praise playlist, a gratitude playlist, but pretty much having a playlist that you can go to in those moments where you want to worship, or moments where you want to praise, or just even moments where you feel down and you need your soul to be uplifted. Having a playlist ready to go is so important. Okay, the next one is church community. So I know that a lot of people kind of have their views about church, and obviously some people may have experienced church hurt, and for them, because of the negative experience at church, they think it's better to not have a church community. However, church community is so important, and even if you've had a bad experience of church community, don't let that take away from actually being able to find a good and healthy church community. It's possible, and I know people are always like, oh, everywhere's the same, but that's not true. So yeah, having church community is so important, and it's important for a number of reasons. Fellowship is important for growing in your walk, it's important for spiritual growth and development and maturity, it's important for being able to have people to go to say, sis, I need you to pray for me, lift me up in this time, encourage me. It's also beautiful because there's a way for you to be able to learn about your gifts and actually use your gifts. So having a church community is so important. And even along with that, which is also very important, is having a life group or discipleship group, or having a sister group, sisterhood that you can be a part of is so important. It could even be a group of your own friends, like maybe 3 or 4 sisters that you are close with. You're all trying to grow in this walk together. That could be where you start from as you learn and grow together. I also feel like it helps for accountability as well, just having other sisters that you feel like you can talk to about relevant topics and things that they can relate with. But yeah, sisterhood groups are also an essential to your growth and essential for a Christian girl. So the last thing that I wanted to end on, which I don't think many people speak about when it comes to Christian girl essentials, but it is having a word for every season. So having a Bible verse that you're holding onto in every season. And I think this is so important, and this really gets us into the habit of meditating on the word. And of course we know the word says meditate on the word day and night. So having a word for every season is very important, and it helps you even when you're in those difficult seasons. You have that word that you're holding on to. You're reminding yourself of what God said. And I've done so many videos in the past where I've kind of just shared how the word helped me, even when it came to things such as self-worth and just knowing who I am, my identity in Christ. That has been very helpful. So having a word in every season, a Bible verse that you're holding on to, is also very important. So yeah. So those are my Christian girl essential tips, and that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, if this video helped you in any way, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with another sister of yours, and also don't forget to share, subscribe, and click on that notification bell. So I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But sisters, if you have any other videos that you want us to just talk about when it comes to us as Christian women, just growing and learning, let's learn and grow together. I'm happy to bring up topics and study topics just so that we can, get a greater understanding of certain things together. So see you guys in the next video. Until then, of course, peace out and God bless.